I know.
Welcome to another edition of the Burbs.
Oh, hello.
I am one of your hosts, Sean Donnelly. This is my co-host, Daniel St. Germain.
Shawnee boy.
And
we're here with one of the funniest comics in the country, Joe List.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I'll tell you what happened right before we started. I said to Dan, I go...
we were talking about graffiti. Sean has a graffiti pass.
I saw a graffiti name. I thought it was really kind of funny. It was just sorry, like somebody wrote in graffiti, which I think is pretty funny if you really think about it. It's like you're writing sorry all over the place. But he goes, then Dan goes, oh yeah, you're a graffiti guy. I forgot that because I told when I was like 16, I had a tag. I think
you got arrested too, right?
I got barely got arrested. There's a whole thing we dodged getting arrested.
Okay.
We were riding under a train trestle and we almost got arrested. But I was like 16 years old, 17 years old.
Wow.
But then I told Dan that my tag was Jesk. And then I go, you can make fun of me because the reason it was Jesk is because I thought I was funny when I was 16 and the first part's supposed to be Jester.
Oh, Jesk with a T.
No, Jess with
it's
a
so
J.
funny watching people realize it because then there's like a second wave of disgust.
So it's
Jesk, but the JES was just for
a jester.
For Jester.
Oh,
and the
it
K was
funny.
just K. Yeah.
So what's the K?
The K was just to make it different than just jest. That's what
I
it was.
got you.
Yeah.
Jesk.
So it was supposed to be, I think I had the word like gesture in mind, like, I'm funny. Jester. Jesk. I was trying to do a play on that. So I said to him, I go, you can fucking destroy me for that.
And were you good?
Like,
were you?
I was fine. I did it 8 times in my life. I wasn't a graffiti guy. Not a real graffiti guy.
What if we found out Sean was Banksy?
That would be amazing.
I don't know. I've been dodging every time.
That would be amazing.
Well, he was talking about. Well, Mike Lawrence. You know Mike Lawrence. Of
course.
He used to have a character named Tulip Donovan he wrote poetry as.
Well, he started as a slam poet.
Oh. God.
And the photo looks like John Wayne Gacy evidence. Like it's pretty. Love you, Mike. Another great comedy writer.
Of course.
He's amazing.
Yeah. The only thing I have similar
we should
is
just call this podcast Kiss Ass Podcast. He's great.
No, he's great, of course. Great. But when I first started, I was like really into the Rat Pack, Sinatra and Dean Martin. I mean, you guys are familiar with the Rat Pack, and I wore a fedora,
oh my God,
to the side,
seriously?
like on stage. Yeah,
like you were a jazz man.
Yeah, because I thought I don't know, I was like really into like dingy ding,
yeah,
ding, and I did like a couple.
It's so
sets.
funny knowing your persona now.
Yeah,
it's all like self-awareness, like I'm and you're just doing the opposite of that when you
right. Well, I wanted to have a drink and hey, I was like the lost art of living,
you're
baby.
Flipping a quarter.
Yeah.
If a set would go well, would you tip it at the end and kind of just point at the audience?
I did. I would do kind of like this thing and like that.
Would you really?
Yeah.
That feels like
2 or 3 sets.
That feels like a Jesk thing to do.
It was very Jesky. It was Jesk-esque. But I was
this
like
one's
18,
for you.
and I had pimples and was skin. It was embarrassing.
But in all fairness, you started really young. You started 18 years old.
I was a teenager. Yeah.
Right. So that's fitting. Like that's.
You're from the suburbs of Massachusetts? Right?
Yeah, Whitman, Massachusetts, birthplace of the chocolate chip cookie. Very small town. Yeah.
Do they still take it seriously, like Buffalo with wings? Like,
no, there's nothing there left. Nobody
chocolate
even
chip
knows.
Cookie. So when was that invented?
I don't know. I'd have to Google
1776?
I'm going to say 18 something. I think it was an accident. That's the story. They spilled something. It's like a Ninja Turtles cartoon or something. They spilled some shit and they were like, this is amazing.
That's like their thing where you got peanut butter in my chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in the Cinnamon Toast.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, there was an accident at the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Factory. Remember that commercial? Where it was like, we can't stop these machines. Yeah,
I remember that. But yeah, it's a very small town.
But it's so, man, that seems like a missed opportunity because they probably could have had so much tourism based off, like Buffalo does with the wings.
Yeah, like a bed and breakfast.
It should have been called, what's it called, Whitman?
Whitman,
It should have been called a Whitman cookie.
Well, it burned down. There was a Toll House cookie. It burned.
There's something so funny about like a cookie factory burning down, like just the Keebler elf tree. Yeah. Like, we gotta get
it burned like
climate change has fucked us.
Like the chemical bank.
Right. It's gone.
It's not here. It's burned. What you want to do is you want to go down to 64th and
My Nana is missing. I can't not go into Seinfeld with you. There's like 5 of us. There's like the Are You Garbage guys, Norman, you, Gulliman, Matt Wayne.
He's a huge Seinfeld.
Yeah, we just go into it. It's hard not to.
it's really hard not to.
So, you were you were a drinker in high school, right? Like,
No, I didn't. I didn't drink till after high school. I went my entire high school. I would always say I'm an athlete, not an alcoholic. And
you were track, right?
I ran. I played baseball and basketball, and then I failed off the track team, and I was ineligible for school for sports because I was such a bad student. But my track coach, I was already running cross country winter track. He was like, "You can just be on the spring track team, even though you're ineligible. You just can't race." And the baseball coach wouldn't allow me, so I quit baseball and just became all track all the time.
Oh wow! I started drinking after high school as well. I didn't drink in high school.
Really? You didn't drink in high school?
I started like senior year, like at the end, I drank a little bit, like a Rolling Rock, and I was like, oh, "This is pretty good."
No,
I kept going.
I was terrified, and also it's crazy to me. People that like smoked weed in high school. The idea of like walking around high school high,
is
insane to me.
And people, it was already like
it's not bad.
I mean, looking back now,
like my second half of my senior year, like I was already in college, so I was like, I had like 3 classes, and I was just getting fucking taking. We were like literally taking gravity bong hits in the car. I mean, that's the most suburban thing ever is like trying to like position that gravity bong because we had no reason to put it in our car, and this actually did happen where we smoked the gravity bong. This was in Jersey, and I started going one way, the wrong way down a one way.
Oh God,
a one way, and then the cops came, and I did the character of like guy who's new at driving. I'm like, I'm so sorry, officer, I don't have my permit.
But you were high as shit.
Fuck. Yeah. And then he goes, it's okay, man, it's okay. I go, okay. I keep going.
That's
he
fantastic.
stops me again. My friend Matt Smilkstein, we called him Pimpin' John and Smokey's in the back. And it's just like, you fucking asshole. You fuck like he's like flipping at me, but he can't raise it that loud because the cops are there. He's like, you piece of shit. You're the reason we're going to fucking jail.
He was freaking out.
But part of me,
he was right. He was totally right.
This has got to be partly on the cop, though. The cop didn't say, all right, just turn your car around or pull up. Like, he just let you.
Thank you, Joe.
Keep going. I blame the cops.
I will 1,000%. Well, even when that graffiti story.
I was 16 with a gravity bog between my legs.
Yeah. Oh, he was right there. He saw it.
It was between my friend Smilky's legs. That's why he was so
covering.
He was like, I'm fucking going to jail. I'm fucking going to jail. You know?
Sounds like a terrible cop. He didn't see that you were high. He didn't see the bong. He let you drive the wrong way.
It was 4 white kids.
He didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He wanted to go. You just go home. That's what it was.
Fair.
But dude, that thing you talked about before when we got caught, we thought we were getting caught for writing graffiti. It was under a train trestle, like in my town. It's like this tiny Long Island town, and when the cops came, we booked it, but it was like and then we saw cop cars everywhere. We thought it was for us, and we were in a backyard, and one of the cops came out there, and we're like, we're playing manhunt, which is like ghosts in the graveyard. And they're like, all right, just get out of there. And then that's how we avoided that.
That's
guy.
smart.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that is good.
Let's get to the old.
There's
stories.
always we'll get to it, but you know my favorite like suburban trope. It's always like my friends who get caught by the cops and run, and then they find that the fat cop can run, and they're like, "Fuck!"
Oh yeah.
There's always like one fat cop who turns into Usain Bolt somehow.
He's just jiggling the whole time. Everything's flying off.
This is the gymnastics of Chris Farley out of nowhere.
Well, let me just preface this by saying we are recording this in advance. So I was like, well, we started this in 2024. We haven't gone through all the fucking crazy suburban stories of 2023. So I figure with Joe, we're going to go through some of the top 2023 suburban stories. I want to start with this because this is crazy. A Texas woman says she was attacked by a snake. What happened is the hawk dropped the snake on her and attacked her, and then the hawk came in to pick up the snake. So she was like run back to her husband like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It was on both sides. Also, I think if like she's like, if they ever have a fuck this award, it should be her face. For sure.
So did she get bit on the arm there? It looks
she got caught up, yeah.
That's just a pink cast or a pink bandage and just giving a thumbs up like, no snakes, no hawks.
You idiot, hawks eat squirrels.
We're always terrified. We know we have.
It's part of my new special, Animals and Tragedies.
Scandals and Animals.
Scandals and Animals.
So our name is Peggy Jones, which sounds made up. Freak accident happened July 25th.
I love that's the part you think is made up. The snake thing I buy.
Well, I buy that a hawk is with a snake. I told you I was in Alaska and there's bald eagles everywhere, and they just pick up cats. They just swoop down and grab cats.
Yeah, they're fucking gnarly. Those.
As I was trying to sling my arm and sling the snake off, the snake wrapped around my arm.
Oh.
The snake was striking in my face, Peggy said. It struck my glasses a couple times. I was slinging and slinging. What does that mean, slinging? Like she was trying to get out of it?
Yeah,
okay.
Probably trying to get out of it.
He was striking and striking. He just kept hanging on. Jones was in the back of the property while her husband was out front. She tried to scream for help, and then she started screaming, and then a mouse fell in her mouth.
See, I just picture this.
She leans back. It's like mousetrap. She hits a bunch of playing cards. They fall down.
Wet paint. I just picture this like her silently dealing with this on like the monitor inside the house. Like the husband's, cleaning dishes and looks over and is like, what the fuck? Like black and white footage of her.
Before it, because he just heard her, he goes, fucking Peggy again. Here we go. What, I left my fucking tools out again.
Yeah. What'd you see, a roach, Peggy? She just thinks it's nothing. It's just getting mauled by 3 animals.
Oh, no, you look like a witch's curse.
This actually feels like something if you put it in a movie, you'd be like in a writer's room, you'd be like, no, come on.
Yeah,
it's
a cartoon joke.
It's ridiculous. No. Pull it back a little.
Joke for sure.
It's definitely Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Have you ever had that happen with an animal where you're like an out of place animal thing that happens?
I've gotten like shit on, you know what I mean?
I've had a snake and hawk land on me at the same time a few times.
I remember that was your Live in Gotham set.
Yeah, it's always a little unnerving, but Texas, like snakes are just part of it down there. Like we would have garden snakes occasionally, but Sarah, my wife, grew up in Texas, and there was water moccasin. Like they would swim and be like, "Oh, here come the snakes."
Right, they were just like,
they'll poison you too.
Yeah.
So she just like not. I had snakes as pets as kids, and now I know.
I'm learning a lot about you.
I know,
and I don't like any of it.
But now I'm the type where I wouldn't be into it. Like when I was a kid, I liked it. I didn't like you don't like feeding them because you had to feed them goldfish.
I didn't like that because I would feed them. Yeah, I would do crickets and goldfish.
But it was. As an adult, I'm like grossed out by it. But
I just think it's weird to
like
that too.
It totally is weird to like that. But is Sarah just like? Is she just like? Not grossed out at all. Like
Sarah Tolmach, very funny comic.
Yeah, she's hilarious. I think she's just kind of blasé about snakes. I don't know. I've never seen her. Although I say that, but one time we were hiking in Ohio and there was a snake and she was like, ah! And like took off running like a real girl. So I don't know. And I was like, it's like 3 inches long. It's over there. It's like my cock. Hello, folks.
Hey,
I was watching. There was a snake in the dugout of one of the baseball games the other day. Did you watch that when the Yankees?
No.
I think it was the Yankees game, and there was a full-on snake in the dugout, and they were just like moving away from it. It was a Dodgers game, yeah, and they were just like moving away from it, and. One of like the first base coaches came over, grabbed it, and then took it somewhere.
By the way, Dodgers game makes more sense. They're like in the mountains in California. Like the Bronx snake would be a real.
Yeah, that would
someone did that.
That would probably just be.
Well, that's like when you
sewage that you don't realize is sewage.
When you do the Dominican parade in Washington Heights, there's always like some guy who like has a boa constrictor and he like puts it in front of him and starts like dancing, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
this is the craziest thing that happened to me not like it's more of a bug thing, but I was at that comedy club Rumors in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
First 2 nights I fucking ate it. I really some of the worst sets I've ever had, and they hated me so much that a spider fell from the ceiling, and I went, spider, and they applause braked the spider. Like that spider did better than me the whole fucking weekend.
That spider got an applause break.
They're like, finally, some props.
They're like, finally an act out, you know.
That spider got a weekend the following weekend.
I wasn't brought back, but the spider has a residency there.
That's
a long week too. It's Tuesday through Sunday.
Dude, that week is brutal.
And that dude who runs it, I actually kind of like him, but he's a ball breaker, that guy.
He was nice.
I did it, and we were hanging out. He was a nice guy, but we were hanging out afterwards, and some lady was like, she comes up, and I know what this was. This happens, and I was just joking. She goes to me, you're the best. You're my favorite person I've seen here. And I go, hey, whatever his name is, Chris.
Tyler.
Tyler. I go, you see? I go, she just said, I'm the best. I'm her favorite she saw here. And he goes, people say that all the time. Just like said it. Like, fuck you. I know. I was joking. Relax.
My story with Tyler, I have a couple. One I can tell. Story with Tyler is.
The other was the snake and a hawk.
The other was a snake and a hawk. Was. I did the show, and I just heard what I thought was drunken heckling. It was just kind of sounds.
Yeah.
So of course I was like, well, fuck this, you know. And I start like tearing into the person, and they're making weirds. I'm like, this is weird. I find out the next fucking day. He goes, hey man, I was actually a table of special needs kids, and I forgot to tell you. And this is even the worst part is like they thought that I was like laughing with them, and then their fucking handler in the car explained that I was making fun of them.
That's amazing.
And then that week was a disaster.
That person's the biggest asshole here. This is like the cop. It's like when people are like, hey, so-and-so was saying this and this about you, and you're like, well, you're a bigger asshole than him.
Yeah, you could have let it slide.
Yeah, she's like a fucking snitch in a place you do not need to be a snitch.
A snitch to a bunch of,
Maybe it was passive aggressive, like she hated those kids, and she was
my act.
Yeah, could be both.
Could be both. Yeah, why narrow it down?
Let's go to the next story.
This is from Burnsville, Minnesota. MRI machine causes Wisconsin woman's gun to fire, shooting her in the buckets. In Alabama, this is actually the closest thing to a Planned Parenthood. But yeah, this is pretty wild.
Pat, that's Pat's new favorite sound.
Thanks,
wow.
Pat. I appreciate it.
I'm just afraid to get that.
Pat's personality is that.
A newly filed report by the Food and Drug Administration describes the incident in a Wisconsin hospital where a woman was shot in the buttocks after bringing a gun into a room with an MRI machine. Oh, so she wasn't in the machine yet. She just walked in the room with it, but because of the magnet.
It shot her in the ass.
Wait, what? The magnet pulled the bullet out of the gun?
Something to do with the machine. The magnet of the MRI filed a single round, which hit her in the right buttock. I don't know how this happens. The injury was a small and superficial, and she was healing well shortly afterwards. She had been through a screening process in which she was asked if she had any objects containing iron. The woman answered no to all the questions. The FDA.
You mean this gun that I'm brandishing?
Also, that's like a word for a gun. I got my iron.
Right. I didn't know that was a word for gun.
In the hood where I'm from. That's
in the Old West. You mean?
Oh, no, in the Old West.
That's mean streets of Garden City.
You got iron? The incident happened in June, but it was just recently reported to the FDA. Why the FDA with an MRI machine? Food and Drug Administration.
Well, I guess Drug Administration is a hospital.
They just thought it was hilarious, so let's report it to the FDA.
I got to tell my friend at the FDA.
I guess if you're going to get shot, the butt's the place to get it. Forrest Gump had that.
Forrest Gump in Sopranos, Bobby Bacala shoots the rapper in the butt.
That's right. But it's insane. Now, do you chalk this up to her being just like, I don't give a shit, I'm going to bring my gun into the room and I don't care what you say? Yes. Or not knowing that guns and bullets have iron in them?
Yes. All yes.
Well, I think this is fascinating, too. I mean, I'm not a big gun guy, whatever. But, like, it's weird. I always think it's weird when you go to the airport and you check in. They're like, hey, no guns allowed in your carry-on luggage. But I'm like, is this for people that think you can bring a gun on board, or people that forgot their, but like, it's so crazy. Like, I know I can't bring 4 ounces of shampoo, but I thought I could bring my handgun.
It's like, I didn't bring Perp Plus, but I do have this AK-47.
Right. Like, it's so crazy to me.
Dude, they're thinking that they're like, I have my gun securely in my bag with the case and everything.
Right.
So it's a non-issue. But they're like, no, that counts. That's part of it. I was at House of Comedy in Arizona, and they have a lot of clubs have this, actually. That happened the other day in St. Louis. I was at some food place, or one of the clubs, I think it was the St. Charles one, had like a picture of a gun with the Ghostbuster symbol around it. The circle on the line.
Yes.
And I'm like, you have to be told not to bring a gun into a comedy club?
Well, that's going to happen eventually.
Yeah,
there's going to be a big...
That's what he always says.
I mean, like, I don't want to give anyone ideas, but yes, it's perfect for it,
But the strange part about it, I was there, and the manager, I was like, oh, I just saw that no gun sign, and he's like, yeah. He's like, I just had to sell one of my guns, but I still got this one. And he pulls out like a dirty Harry-sized, like pearl-handled fucking like Wild West gun. And I was like, but you have it inside here. What do you? And he's like, I'm allowed to. I'm like, are you sure you're allowed to have this inside?
I had like my roommate when I first in New York carried a gun around, and he said he was a cop. And then one day drunk, he just goes, "I'm not a cop."
Wow.
And I got out of there like a week later.
Oh my God.
Oh, that was horrible. All right, our next is from, of course, Florida, Broward Country, Florida. A woman dressed in a latex bodysuit asks Fort Lauderdale Commission to fund sex dungeon. I don't know why. I just think this is funny because like Florida doesn't fund anything.
Right.
Like I don't think she's going to get hurricane funds.
This is hot. I am into this.
You are into this.
Yeah.
What you don't know is Joe's to the left. He's behind. he's behind.
This is like a Daft Punk video.
I was about to say that they look like fucking.
I do, however, find it interesting
Is this real?
that you will spend almost $1 million to hide your secrets down the drain. Hiding that condom I know you used to cheat on your spouse with.
Is that any Letterman?
That mill.
The Martians are here and they're sluts.
Boy, this is like getting me a little chubbed up though.
This is pretty.
I'll fund them.
Yeah, it's very Tron. It's very Tron meets.
Let's see what
Daytona
it says
Beach.
here. Wait, go back up for a sec. 3 women wearing BDSM latex suits appeared at a December 20th. That was a couple years ago. Fort Lauderdale.
Oh wow, I got that wrong. Sorry, I thought that was 2023. Guys.
To ask for money to build a sex dungeon to support doms and subs in Broward County. That's like the main county in Florida, is it not? Isn't like that's
a big county.
That's the big one.
I just find it funny that's like because whenever like you would go to these Writers Guild meetings, they'd be like, we need to think about our people of color, and this is like we need to think about our subs and doms.
Right.
Guys.
Yeah, my GIMP needs help.
My GIMP needs. I will not stop until this GIMP gets universal health, and there's public option for this GIMP.
I would love that lady to just hold my ankles and plow me.
Is that
what I mean?
Is that your thing? A little bit?
Yeah, let's
fucking
pretend.
Around?
Yeah, I'm fucking around a little bit.
Okay.
Miami-Dade, that's a big county too.
Miami-Dade is a big one.
But yeah,
Seamless transition.
That seems fun to me. I would lick her boots and all that stuff. Put a heel in my ass.
And would you do it using taxpayer dollars? That's
I would hope. I'm not going to pay for my own.
You want to get
Joe West is over there using our taxpayer dollars to get fucked in the ass.
That's everybody in Long Island. Long Island.
He punches a girl.
That's our Long Island impression every time we do a Long Island story.
Yeah.
Don't you think it would be a great idea? Just a quick side note. This is my friend's idea that when you pay taxes, the state sends you a receipt and it shows you the breakdown of where your money went.
I love that. Itemized receipt.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 11% to schools, 3% to war, 2%
It would be
to whatever.
3% school and then 75% Ukraine and
But yeah,
Middle East.
I'd feel more comfortable with taxes.
Well, they also can't do that because there would be a revolution immediately.
Of course.
You'd be like, what the fuck?
Right.
Because a lot of it would be, the numbers I don't think would match up.
No.
They'd be like, also, it's civil service. They'd be like, we don't know where this went.
Right,
like,
right.
You give the money, and they're like, there's so many. You know what a lot of it probably goes to also is like pensions of people that are just like staying alive that haven't worked in 30 years.
Right.
That were executives in these types of towns or even city pensions. They have the same shit. That's what MTA is. One of the most fucking corrupt things ever because these guys make millions 30 years later. Sorry.
A better idea would be you decide. Like I'm like, I want 40% to potholes.
Yeah.
30% to freeways and 10% to
I mean, that would
domination.
be amazing, but that's never going to happen.
No, of course.
I want 15% to furries. It just becomes all sex stuff.
Right.
I want
They fuck up. They're like, oh, the money we were supposed to send to Ukraine, we send it to Marty's fuck palace. And then you go there, it's just gigantic pussy. Like,
but she in that video that's amazing. She is so confident in that video, which makes sense. She's a dom.
I mean, if you're gonna wear that outfit, you better be fucking confident. You can't be insecure wearing that outfit.
That'd be hilarious.
Guys, I think so.
I don't know. It's just like I'm sorry. They didn't give me enough of a mouth hole to breathe through.
I think this article made me realize civil rights does extend to everything because she says she wanted something for a dungeon for us, by us.
She wanted the FUBU dungeon.
I also love she's insecure. Get down and lick my boots if you want. I don't know. They're probably dirty. I don't have to.
My feet are so fucking big.
That's so funny.
All right, what's our next story here? This is from Lacey, New Jersey. Oh, this I just got pissed off at. I want to see if you guys. I fucking just hate cute shit like this.
What happened in Jersey?
Like
your stomping grounds.
Walmart. Well, yeah, this is in. I don't know if it's in Lacey, New Jersey, but like I don't know, a Walmart self-checkout employee Christmas party event. So it's like, we're all employees.
Oh,
let's all hang out.
Oh, self-checkout.
Yeah, it's like literally the loneliest people of all time are going to a Walmart generic Christmas party.
Oh, I thought they meant like the self-checkout machines. They put like a fake hand with a drink.
No, I think you just hang out near the checkout machines.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the party's in the self-checkout area?
It's like,
so it started as a joke. I lost my monitor.
It's
a humorous Facebook event titled...
the big fucking Walmart was trying to shut us down.
Walmart self-checkout employee Christmas party event was recently created by a resident set for the Lanoka Harbor store with a description reading, celebrating another successful year of picking, paying, and bagging your own groceries. They forgot shoplifting in that. While actual employees just stand around and check receipts. As of Wednesday afternoon, the event has nearly 21,000 respondents. Yeah, that's a Facebook thing. So
I know. I just hate all this cute shit.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's also like, we're stealing jobs.
You're just celebrating automation. We're going to have a driverless truck party next.
I go to Target all the time, and they have that. And the other day, I had to get checked ID. I bought Mucinex, and they had to check ID because I guess it has ingredients in it that could be made for meth. And I come over, the guy's like, do you have ID? And I'm like, really? And he's like, I have to scan it for the thing. So they have full on have to scan it with the gun just to get like Mucinex or like, I think NyQuil as well. Any kind of over-the-counter medicine.
Claritin D.
Yeah, all that stuff. Because they're just like, you could just take off and make...
It's like some guy with a really runny nose or Walter White. Who knows? But anyway, I just hate this. So.
At the end it says, and while Walmart said no to having an actual party there on December 15th, they asked the people to donate to their toy drive. Oh, that's nice.
That's sweet.
See, that's what it just should have been.
It should be a toy drive.
Hey, guys, let's flood the self-checkout machines with toys.
You go to a Christmas party this year? Yeah, the self-checkout. The one party I was invited to was the self-checkout aisle at Walmart.
I'm going to the incel meetup.
I don't know. I was, I did have other plans of having a gun in my mouth. So maybe I'll do this instead.
I think I might have just thought of a brilliant idea. A sex toy drive for the ladies and the thing.
It takes care
of a toy
of it.
drive. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Sex toy drive. You go to Walmart, you drop off a double-sided dildo in a big cardboard box. We send it to the ladies.
For needy kids who want to get fucked.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like a guy with March of Dimes bill as a mouth
He's
gag.
in all leather, yeah.
That would be great.
So expensive. Have you been to a sex shop? They're so expensive, these sex toys.
Sex shop?
Yeah, they are.
A couple times, but I probably just...
Very expensive.
No, like a dildo for whoever is like... It's like $80, some of these things. If you want veins, it's like $88.
Well, that's craftsmanship.
Per vein, we charge extra.
Don't they have dildo artists that they're like, I go with the McCarran.
In the script I'm writing now, we have an artisanal dildo in it. But yeah, I'm sure that there is some weird...
There's got to be, like, if you're a big fan of dildos and you're like, and you it's almost like the same barber you go to. You're like, I only trust this dildo artist.
Right.
It probably does happen.
Well, every time I see a sex toy now, it kind of looks like the stuff that Sandra Bullock and Stallone were using in Demolition Man. Like, it's always like the weird. I'm like, is this hooks up to your ear and then it vibrates?
Do you mean?
I don't know what.
Do you mean like the shell thing for wiping your butt?
Thing. Yeah.
Wasn't there? Do you know about that? And Judge Dredd, you mean, right? And,
no, that was Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. There's a whole thing where like it's supposed to be, I guess, like this vague gag.
It's like virtual reality fucking. So like they put on their glasses. And...
But they also have a thing in it. Did you ever see Demolition Man?
I did in 1994 or whatever.
But there's a thing I only saw years later. I saw it when it came out, which I should have saw when it came out. But there's a thing where you wipe your butt with a shell or something with a shell and something else, and then for years they were like, well, that was just supposed to be a joke in the thing. And then somebody came up with a theory about how you actually would do it, and it's so convoluted. But I thought maybe you knew it.
Was Wesley Snipes in that film?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he's the bad guy. He's basically he's got the Dennis Rodman look. This one's an interesting one. Wichita, Kansas, not technically a suburb, but I've been there and it might as well be. This guy, he tried to get away with Uber share.
That looks like the same guy with just a different haircut.
Yeah, it does look like. I mean, it definitely looks like people are pissed off that Puddle of Mud canceled.
That's sad Jay Okerson on the right.
It's a orgus. I'm sorry.
What is the story again? That he's mad that what?
Well, no, they used a ride to try to get away from the police. They used a rideshare app.
Oh, I
so
see.
he got it. There's people already there, and he's like, "Go, go!" Yeah. It's like, well, we got to drop her off at Whole Foods first.
It pulls up. He goes, "For fugitive."
for fugitive.
Wait, so he tried to
He's got like the money bag.
Tried to break into Dollar General.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Okay, he tried to. Oh.
Man, things are hard. If you're breaking it at Dollar General,
they tried to shoot.
What they have $200 maybe in the register? Like, what the fuck?
So while they were hiding, they called the Uber.
That's so funny. It's actually kind of smart. They use
not real. No, it's not.
I don't know.
This is how you trying to be the worst criminal ever. It's like literally a tracking device for the police.
I'm like
with witnesses. A tracking device with witnesses.
They go. They use super soakers to hold off the police. Genius.
That's not bad.
Nobody likes getting wet.
I think Sean still thinks like when you escape a jail, the spotlight follows you to the wall, and he's like running back and forth,
like Gene Hackman in Superman. Police said the arrest stemmed from a Dollar General alarm that went off when glass on the building was broken. Police responded to the alarm around 4 a.m. Oh, they called an Uber at 4 a.m. 31st Street. Arriving officers searched for the suspects.
Calling a rideshare at 4 a.m. is smart, though. No one else is doing that rideshare, and you're getting a discount.
In South Wichita, it probably said arriving in 22 minutes.
While Avalos was hiding in the perimeter, he called for a rideshare app to pick him up. Police said in a news release, officers noticed the vehicle in the 3100 block, and they were just taken in with no incident whatsoever.
Yeah, of course. You pull them over, and they're like, yeah.
It'd be funny if, like,
no, this is stupid.
If the cops called a rideshare to chase them, that would be pretty good. Follow that car.
I'd like it if it was one of the ones that has like the flashing lights and the music.
Well, that was like there was the guy,
like the lift thing with
yeah.
They have all the stuff around the car. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there was that guy.
The ground effects.
I don't know when this was, what year this was, but he thought the Uber machine was telling him to kill people, so he was killing people in between picking up and dropping them off. Like he would do an Uber ride and then he would drive by somebody and shoot him.
Oh, that's fun.
And then keep doing Uber rides.
Oh my God. Wait, that was a while ago, right? That was
like
years ago?
2016, 17.
Oh my God.
That was wild.
I watched that show about the Uber guy, whatever his name was. Kyle Chandler's in it, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He plays like
I haven't seen it.
The old CEO. And if it's half true about that, if that's how the guy was a giant piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
But it was weird. They tried to make it like empathetic, that he was driven and he was trying to be like a Steve Jobs type, but he just completely disregarded for all the shit that was going on early with Uber, and he was like trying to assess like a risk over reward type
right.
situation. So it's pretty. It's not a great show. But I was already in it. You ever do that when you watch a show and you're like, I have to finish it, or a movie, because I know you're a bigger movie guy.
Yeah, no,
you're like,
I
have to finish. You'll stop.
Leave movies, yeah.
Really?
Like this.
What's the last movie you just left?
You'll walk out of a movie? Megalopolis?
Oh, the Twisters. I hated it.
Really?
We watched the half hour and then we went over to watch the new M. Night Shyamalan movie instead.
That's bad
I also
too.
hated. Yeah,
That's really
I also
bad.
hated, but that movie stinks also. But Twisters was. I was like, I hate this.
I didn't even see
will
the
say
first
this
one.
about M. Night, and I think you'll agree. It's like even if most of the movies are bad.
Yes,
but there's something strangely compelling about the bad ones. Like even with Trap, I was like, is he really giving his daughter the entire third act emotional arc? Like I was like shocked.
In script form?
In Trap, Trap. His daughter's like one of the stars, and she's
oh, I see what you're saying.
So I was like, is he really gonna? Holy shit! Like every decision he makes, I'm just like, M. Night, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that movie.
How dare you?
That movie had more plot holes than any film I've ever seen.
It's the craziest
ever.
movie.
What's it about again?
It's basically the FBI sets up like a concert to trap a serial killer.
Oh, right.
That Josh Hartnett is the serial killer with his daughter. It's the craziest. And then, of course, M. Night's in it. He's in it as like his daughter's uncle, I guess.
But also, he's not a terrible actor. He's
Just kind of boring.
Him and Signs. He's kind of boring, but him and Signs is good. He does that.
Yeah, no, he's funny.
Part pretty
fun
good.
in a movie.
Signs is great. I actually don't. I was talking about this the other day.
Signs isn't great. You can't say Signs is great by the ending. The water going to a planet with 80% water
It's
It's such a big plot. It's such a big plot hole.
But also, they leave. It works. They leave. They don't.
I know, but why would you come?
What
if you're an intelligent being and you're allergic to water? Why the fuck would you come to a planet?
Maybe you don't know what the fuck it is. You've never encountered it before.
But you know what a spaceship is. You've already built a spaceship that gets you there, so you'd think that they would know a little bit of what the elements are.
But say you go to this planet and you're like, oh, there's a lot.
This is our first fight.
A lot of this blue stuff.
This should be the show.
This is the show. A lot of this blue stuff on this planet, we don't know what it is, but we'll just go on this part, land here, take over.
But they've mastered space travel, but they don't know what an ocean is?
It's kind of like Back to the Future. He invented a time machine, but his
Sean
plan...
gets sad when his points. Incredible Hulk music.
Wait.
Where's the fucking sound cue for that, Pat?
Back to the Future. There's plot holes.
He invented time travel, but his best plan to get back is like, what if you rape your mother? And Marty's like, that's not bad.
Mulaney does a bit about that where he goes back and he kills Hitler and he's like, nah, it's pretty good. But no, he thought he'd go. He goes back and he fucks his mom. whatever.
Yeah.
Right. I think he talked about too that Biff tried raping his mother and then he works for them later.
Yes.
Like he's like waxing the car and you're like, you kept this guy on the payroll? I think he does that a bit.
Yeah.
This is not like a funny topic, but there is that debate if if you went back in time and killed Hitler, because Hitler, like as a military strategist, was so bad by the end of the war. If you had killed Hitler, you may have gotten a more capable Nazi in his place. And they would probably try to not invade Russia and all these other, and we could still have Nazi Germany if you went back. And
they also you'd have to kill multiple people in order for that to work.
You would have to kill a ton of people.
Yeah. There's also I just saw a thing about. I didn't know this. Crispin Glover. There's a clip. You know, Crispin Glover played Marty McFly Sr. Right, Marty McFly Sr.
Yeah.
And
George McFly.
Sorry. And he full on. He didn't do the second one. And he said one of the main reasons is because at the end of the first one, they make it, there he is, they make it about money. So they make them rich. And he goes, it shouldn't be about, he wanted them to change it where they're still poor, but it was about that they love each other because of what happened. Right. And it's not money. Like they don't become successful. They just are in the same spot. You know, the son's still a deadbeat, all this. And then Marty shows up and wakes up, but he sees that they actually, it's just relationships, and that's why he turned down the sequel. What would you say?
It's funny
$5 million?
But he has to be a successful writer. That's the whole.
That's right.
thing.
Exactly.
I know
it's the crux of the first one where he's writing all the stuff down. He's into sci-fi. So
I used to work at one of my first New York job was I was a movie usher at IFC Center, and Crispin Glover really wanted his documentary played, and he literally would follow the guy from IFC Center. He'd be like eating and he'd be like, is that Crispin Glover? Crispin Glover's just like standing there being like, when are you going to put my movie on?
Wow.
And I mean, talking about a creepy guy to Wilfred
really
or whatever
funny.
the fuck his name is, Willard.
that's really funny.
Yeah, he couldn't. That was a crazy job.
I didn't realize till years later. Now we're just talking Back to the Future facts.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
I didn't realize it is in the suburbs of LA. I didn't realize till 25 years later that Crispin Glover is not in the second film. And it's a guy in a mask. And one of the reasons they had him upside down is it's harder to recognize people when they're upside down.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I knew they put tons of makeup on the guy.
Put a lot of makeup on him, but they have him appear. He's like in a back brace floating around upside down.
And I think it was a precedent-setting court case. He sued them.
Yeah.
A ton of money.
And it's like still in...
it's still in the lexicon.
Now it's funding his documentaries.
Yes, right. And chasing down and stalking employees of one IFC theater on 6th Avenue.
This is fun. This
is Charlotte, or this is
Springfield, Colorado. He tried to switch seats with his dog. He was like, no, it was the dog that was driving.
Oh, I love that. There's a lot of cartoon stories here.
Air Bud Family Court. Yeah, these are all cartoons. We're just describing Hanna-Barbera.
That's what do you think he said when the cop showed up? He's like, I told him, are you too fucked up to drive?
Well, also dogs driving is also illegal. I mean, surely you get arrested if you have your dog driving the car.
Especially because the dog was drunk too. It was a disaster.
You think he just liked old SNL? He saw Toonsis and he was like, "This checks out."
I love somebody's comment which just said, "I wish my dog could drive."
It's got like 30 legs.
Hey, that would be cool.
You're in the car. Even the dog was probably rolling his eyes. He's like, "Hey, scooch over."
Put your belt on. Don't get a ticket. Click on her ticket, Grover.
So this is in Springfield, Colorado. A driver is pulled over for speeding, tried to switch places with his dog. An officer watched him maneuvering inside the car before he got out of the bench.
Wow.
The only thing is funny, I hope it was like a pug.
I just picture it like, I immediately thought of like the Turner and Hooch dog from Turner and Hooch back in the
I've
day.
never seen Turner and Hooch.
I've seen it. It's pretty good. It's all
You
right.
gotta see it.
Joe's, I didn't know that's in Joe's criterion.
Cancel your plans.
If you ever want to teach your dog to drive, watch Turner and Hooch. The man said he was not behind the wheel and clearly showed signs of being drunk. Police said he ran from the officer when asked about how much he had to drink and was caught within about 20 yards.
Yeah, I would
Oh my
imagine.
God, that's so great. Hold on, here we go. After being taken to the hospital to be checked out, the man was arrested. Okay, cool. The dog, if anybody's wondering, was given to an acquaintance of the driver to take care of while the party was in jail. That was the guy's name, the party. The dog does not face any charges and was let go with just a warning. Oh, all right, cutesy.
All right, stop being cute, police.
That's pretty great, though, dude.
yeah.
That is the biggest. You think you're getting away on charm? Look, my dog was driving, officer. I'm totally
Maybe that's
fine.
the move. You're like, it's hilarious, huh?
Isn't it funny? And he's like, "No, you're going to jail. You have an issue. You're an alcoholic, and you're going to jail." I don't think you're trying to get away with these things. That would have worked maybe in the 70s. You had some like cop that was like, "That's pretty good. All right, get home safe."
Well,
But not
DUI,
now.
immediately DUI, you're like, okay, so that's 10 grand in 6 months I'm not driving, right? That's the math always, every time.
And sometimes it's more. Sometimes they get real hardcore with DUIs. Too.
Yeah.
I drove drunk once in my life. I would never do it again because I drove back from the Bronx once back to Long Island when I was 22.
Well, it's just because you live in
Get-
New York and have a subway.
Well, yeah.
If this guy lived in Teaneck, New Jersey, oh boy.
No. Even when I had a car, and I didn't remember the entire ride back from Riverdale back to.
Oh, that's
Oh,
scary.
wow.
And I was like, and it freaked me out so much. I've never even
What's
thought
this
about doing
blood on my windshield?
I've had a few nights like that. I called the cops one time. This is a very suburban thing. I called the cops one time to report my car stolen at a hotel. And then because I couldn't find the car. And I was like, my car's stolen. They came and we were like giving the report and telling them all the things. And in the middle of it, I swear to God, this is at the Cape Cod Melody, not the Melody tent, the Cape Cod Comedy Lounge. While I'm talking, I see over his shoulder, I'm like, you know what? My car's right there. And it's like so obvious that clearly I went out drinking. I was like, we parked it here. Remember, my buddy was with me. I was like, it was right here. And then you
That
just
was a
see
big
it.
eye roll from
It was
the
like
cops,
way
right?
the fuck over there. And they were just like, okay, all right, I guess we're done here.
And they
Because
just
she got one on us,
Yeah.
basically.
you basically avoided a DUI that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
You cried
10
wolf.
hours later. Yeah.
I don't think I've told this story on this podcast, but you know my dad pretty well. My dad loves Sean, but
That's
like
great, dude.
he, my dad, the only time he drunk. This is like the old. Like, if you don't believe white privilege exists, listen to the story. So it's the first time he drank whiskey. He's never drank whiskey then, and he got so drunk. He's like, "I'm gonna drive myself to the police station." To get arrested.
Are you kidding me?
He drove
Wow,
to
what
the
a
police
sweet man.
station.
Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't have been. It's hilarious because he should have been driving anyway.
He cares
But
about humanity.
Yeah, he drives there and he just passes out in the parking lot. Wakes up the next day, no one did anything, and he just drives back home. I just love
That's
it. The cops
amazing.
looking like, is that a drunken playwright in the parking lot? Let's go see what those 12-year-old black kids are up to across the street. Just like literally presenting an arrest for him,
Oh,
and
that's
they're like,
so funny.
nothing.
That's so good. But it's also like they tell you. We were talking about this last night about how they're like, oh, people, sleeping in your car and then like wake up a few hours later, then you just keep on going after you're drunk. And I'm like, yeah, a lot of people do that. And they're like, not many people do. If everybody did it, there'd be drunk people parked everywhere
Right.
at the end of the night. People just drive their cars and be like, I'll just sleep over here.
Yeah.
And it'd be like a mess. You know what I mean? Like maybe not Manhattan, but I mean like, on the
Some
way
people
back.
get like that. Like, why the fuck if you're Justin Timberlake, why are you driving drunk? I mean, that's the craziest.
I don't know. I think maybe
You can afford the $100 Uber or whatever the fuck
Right.
it is.
Or just a driver that drives you anywhere in a fucking limo.
right.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're like, I can do no wrong. Like I'm Justin Timberlake, so
I think it's
I
because you see the
I'm not gonna-
headshot. It's like you look at his headshot, you're like, oh, he doesn't realize he's not cute anymore. It's one of those things too. We're like, oh, okay, you still think it's like 1999.
Yeah, well, if you live his life, there's nobody telling you it's not.
Yeah, I think you can just talk your way out of it.
Yeah. Here we go. Here's another one. Perfect switch up here. Yes, you read it correctly. Driver wearing Bud Light costume arrested for
I love it.
That's pretty fun.
That's great. They have a photo right here.
I mean, you got to be the most popular guy in jail, right? When you come in, they're like,
Hey, boys.
hello, boys.
The party just continues in jail.
Plus, it's hard to get that costume off, so it's hard to get raped. I can't figure this thing out.
The guy in jail's like, how do you crack this open?
I guess we're going to have to rape the guy in the Michelob Ultra costume.
It says the can of beer. The driver has his arms outstretched. The department obscured his face. Obviously, it was significant enough that we thought it needed to be posted on social media.
Again, these cops are having too much fun.
Yeah, they're having a nice time.
They're having too much fun.
They work hard.
Well, I think also, what they say about being a cop is like 99% of it is you're bored out of your mind.
Oh, yeah.
My dad was a cop, and then he was a jail guard, and he was like
Why did your dad quit again?
It was a giant layoff of cops in the set when the city was broke.
Right, yeah.
They laid off thousands of cops, and he was a cop for like 2 years, and then got laid off, and then he went to corrections at Rikers, and then just never went back, and it was like the biggest mistake of his life.
Thank God he doesn't. I mean, your dad's passed now, but
he's gone now. He's been gone for a while.
But apparently, Rikers right now is just like it's hell on earth.
They want to close it down. They want to put mini jails in every borough, like so you'd have one in Manhattan, one in Bronx, all the boroughs. So I don't know what. It's probably better.
Anything's got to be better than what's going on.
It's probably better.
I mean, these guys are like people who are like robbing a CVS are getting thrown in with murderers and like are getting fucked up.
When I got arrested, I was thrown in. This is in Maryland, but I was thrown in a jail cell. It was a holding cell with a guy who pistol whipped somebody that was cheating with his wife. That the guy I told that story.
Wow.
I told that a bunch of times.
Hit a woman with his iron.
Hit him with his iron, exactly. And I was just there for drinking on the beach. It was open container. It should have been a ticket. And I'm in there, and I'm like, what happened? And he's like, oh, well, this guy was like meeting up with my wife, so I went down to like the bars, and I met him in the middle of the street, and he got out of my truck and just took my gun and just got him right across the mouth.
I always want to say to these guys, like, if your wife's making this decision, it's over. Like you're not going to be able to scare her into not cheating again.
Right.
No,
yeah. It's not a love story you hear. We were together, and then she kind of lost her way and was hooking up with a guy, and then I pistol whipped him, and we've been aces ever since.
Yeah, I remember that Nicholas Sparks book.
Yes, I remember that part of the Notebook. The revolver. The driver was headed northbound.
Hey, Pat, how are we doing time-wise? I'm just nervous because we're going through all our stories.
We got 15 minutes.
Okay, cool. So, all right, we're going to have to come up with a new search Ferrari.
We talk about a lot about...
I have enough stories. We're just...
Let's talk Back to the Future 3.
We're out of content, guys. Joe, you have any crazy suburban stories?
Nice job, Rick.
Such a funny cut.
Thanks.
This is like, what's the show with the... Comics Unleashed.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Joe, we heard you were on a plane recently, too.
Norman kept calling him Brian, and he was getting pissed at him.
Yeah, Lauren and I went on and shit on the show, and then the producer found it was Matt. We had to scramble to get it deleted because we really made fun of the show a lot. Did I tell you my story with that?
Oh, you were nervous about not getting invited back to Comics
Unleashed? We were nervous. My episode never
nervous
aired,
about being leashed. I don't want to be a leashed comic.
Byron Allen did a thing where I was sitting, like, if I'm Byron Allen, you're me. He goes, hey, he yelled to his producer, make sure you're really telling the audience to jack up and clap and go, especially when... he
like motioned over to you?
To me, because I was on with like 3 black who were all like, and then this is great. They were getting up, and I was just doing my regular like, I'm a nervous guy, and you go to the mall, and he did like that, especially when this guy, and I was like, I'm right here.
You're like, let me do it for you. I be driving like this while you be driving like that. You do all the...
Well, you know the Lenny Marcus story with
no.
There was one year where they were asking people to do it on Facebook, and somebody hit Lenny Marcus, who's like a classic New York curmudgeon. He ends all of his sets at the cellar by going, "All right, I gotta go," like he's on the phone with his mom.
Right.
And he goes, at one point, he gets a message from this person, which people were, it was legitimate, and they go, "Are you available to come do Comics Unleashed on this date?" And he goes, "Well, do you pay us?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's X amount or something." "Do you put us up?" They're like, "No." "Do you fly us out?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I'm not interested." He goes, "I can't do it." And they go, well, I wasn't asking if you could do it. I was asking if you were available to come do it.
Oh,
and apparently Lenny wrote back, well, you can go fuck yourself. And I actually want you to go fuck yourself. I'm not asking if you're available to go fuck yourself.
That's great. Oh, that's awesome.
That's my
amazing.
favorite story.
That's amazing.
That's insane. Were you able to say anything when he did the motion over?
No, I was like humiliated. I felt like an asshole, and I was like, oh, sorry.
That's on them for having you. Like, 'cause I remember the Larry Wilmore show. Like, I was like begging to be on it because at that point I was like, anything. And I got on, and it was like me and 3 Asian comics, and it was an Asian issues panel. And I was like, God damn it! Like, just let them ask you. You know what I mean? Just let them ask you.
Caucasian.
Yeah, Caucasian. Yeah, I am from the islands of Caucasia. You bring my family great dishonor.
When I was in the suburb, I was a big steal. When I get drunk, I would steal like street signs and for sale signs and stuff. So I did a lot of that. But I remember one time I was driving, and my cousin, let's say, was in front of us in like a truck, and I was following with my buddy. We had been drinking, and my cousin was driving all crazy all over the road. He was going through a breakup, whatever, and he was like skidding out. And I was with my buddy, and I was like, oh my God, I got to get out. Next red light, I got to get in his car. I got to talk some sense into him. He's going to get arrested. This is crazy. I know how to talk to him, especially to him. I know just what to say.
Yeah.
So the next red light, my buddy like flashes high beams, and I was like, all right, wait here. And so I run up and jump in the truck, and like my buddy's like, okay, I guess he's going to talk to him. And then from my buddy's perspective, I barely remember this because I was hammered. We're driving, and we drive up like a quarter of a mile, and my cousin's truck pulls over, and I just get out and I grab a mailbox and just rip it out of the ground, toss it into the bed of the truck, and then I dive into the bed of the truck, and I go like this, and my cousin goes, and just peels out. I'm like, I went up there to like talk some sense into him, settle down, and we made it like 2 houses, and I was like, pull over, I'm gonna
crime.
I'm gonna grab a mailbox, and then I drove around in the bed of the truck, like laying down, no seatbelts.
He's like, yeah, I see your point, Joe, but fuck the post office, right? You're like, you're right.
Yeah, I was just in one of those crazy.
Definitely were. There's a lot of destroying mailboxes, definitely in high school, because just driving past and fucking.
My friends used to make
clocking one out.
Time bombs. They used to make time bombs out of M80s, and like they called them like elephant sticks. They'd be like 3/4 of a stick of dynamite, and they would just put a cigarette next to it and put it under a tire of a car.
This is terrorism.
It's terrorism.
This is
the
terrorism.
Same guy that used to do that was like, this is like, you can probably look this up at some point. This is 20 years ago, but more than that. He was arrested. They were going around shooting people with like, there wasn't anything in the darts, but they were like shooting people with darts.
It's so crazy.
It's fucking nuts. It would never happen now.
That's so crazy.
You'd be arrested. It'd be like domestic terrorism.
We had a story, I remember when I was in high school, where there was a bunch of kids throwing bowling balls. They were driving around a car and throwing bowling balls like through windshields of cars, similar to
same kind of deal.
That's like good son shit.
It was like what do you call it? Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
But so they were looking for him for like weeks because it kept going on, and it turned out the reason they couldn't find him is a bunch of guys in their 40s. It wasn't teenagers at all. It was like a bunch of middle-aged men. Because I remember like being like, everyone was kind of like, it's not us. We drive around. And it was just a bunch of guys our age. But we're like, we'll go throw bowling balls through windows. But they've been pulling over these kids being like, you guys got any bowling balls? And it was just grown men with jobs.
So they were like hassling kids for weeks. And then finally they're like, it's just these middle-aged dudes that are just not having sex.
They're men with jobs, Jerry.
Very different mistaken identity story, but there was a serial killer in Mexico called the Little Old Lady Killer, the Lucha Killer. She was actually a female lucha wrestler who would pose as a Social Security officer and then kill these old ladies.
Oh, my God.
And they thought it was a trans woman forever. So they, like, all the Mexican police just kept, like, arresting all these trans people in parks, and it just turned out to be like a really built woman. So it's like kind of a burn for everybody.
Yeah. Nobody wins in that
Nobody wins in that situation. And I guess they discovered it because, it was a on-scene witness who like drew a pretty accurate. But yeah, she this crazy story. There's a documentary on Netflix, but the reason she was killing these old ladies is that her mom had sold her into sex slavery. So she had all these resentments towards old women because her mom had done that.
Oh my God. And then years later she went in front of a town board to ask for funding for
now she just got a mom and pop fuck shop.
That's funny.
We need subsidized
pussy molds.
What is this? Is this the comments from the other one?
No,
Well, Instagram. This is the video.
Okay,
this is pretty great. All right.
It's Sean's video corner, everybody. The end of the episode,
Look
the
at
video
monitor
hut.
and give the full name of this person.
Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler.
Wow.
As well, Spalding. Look at the monitor and give the full name.
Isn't that great?
That's so
I don't
fucking
even
funny.
know how that would even begin to be a
so
thing.
this is a Jamaican, like, are you smarter than the fifth graders sort of thing?
Yeah, it's like some kind of local game show in Jamaica, and these sixth graders are showing a picture of Jason Statham of Transporter fame, who looks nothing like Adolf Hitler. And they said, "Who is this man?" And they go,
Adolf Hitler.
That's good
Man, the
timing.
way they said it in sync is incredible.
"It's like it was almost like they talked about it at home." It was crazy.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that
Heil
bonkers?
Statham. I mean, that's a handsome fucking dictator.
He's one of those things, you guys, where he's going to be 90 and just be a smoke show. That
You
guy.
think so?
He's a good-looking man. Also,
You obviously see the video of him dancing in that like new wave video.
no,
His first big. You've seen that, right?
I don't think so.
Jason Statham's. Well, you pull it up, Pat, very easily. But Jason Statham's first gig as an actor,
Adolf Hitler.
he was Adolf Hitler.
Can we
No, he was
isolate
in
that
a,
and
he
make
was
it-
in a new wave music video where he was a background dancer, like dancing provocatively and sexy.
really?
Yeah, it'll be right. You'll pull it up right on YouTube. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah, before Jason Statham's famous.
That's him?
Shut the fuck
Yeah, I
up.
swear to God, that's him.
Wow.
Oh man, so did you
I just
rip
farted.
ass?
I'm sorry.
So bad.
I was trying to hold it
It's
as long as I could.
okay. But yeah, this is.
I'm sorry. Did you smell it already?
This is like.
No, I just want to
Yeah,
prevent.
preemptively.
Oh, yeah, that's bad.
He looks hot there.
Yeah, he looks really hot there. Yeah, I'd totally fuck him there.
You ever see that when Ricky Gervais was in
He was in a new wave
band
too.
as well? Yeah, like
Yeah.
and he was like way more
Serious.
serious looking and like he was like skinny and kind of like
Well, that's
not like androgynous, but way more androgynous looking.
That's the whole thing of rock stars want to be comedians. Comedians want to be rock stars. Which I don't know why rock stars want to be comedians. It seems like that's the way better option.
That's Ricky Gervais?
That's Ricky Gervais. Yeah.
On the right?
Yep.
He looks like a hot chick.
That's what I'm saying. Isn't that great? Like this.
He's
you
a
could tell
hot.
somebody
Ricky Gervais
Dude.
Ricky Gervais is a hotter chick than he is a handsome dude.
1,000%.
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? That's
Yeah, she's cute.
I think they had like a single in England that did pretty well, or maybe even out here. But they look. You could tell somebody that's Duran Duran. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's Duran Duran."
Now, is that Merchant right there? His
No,
right
I don't think so.
Stephen Merchant.
They're like, let's do something completely different.
That's
I thought the last
crazy.
special. Everyone was shitting on his last special. I thought there was some good stuff in it.
I didn't see it.
I think he gets I think he gets some shit because, like I think stand-ups think he kind of skipped the line.
Yeah.
But also it's like one of the greatest fucking shows of all time. So it's like, I guess you kind of get to skip the line.
I've heard a story. There's a story about that. I think you know the same story. I think you told me the story, but I don't want to say it because it mentions names.
Oh, God, I want to hear it now.
I'll
but
tell you after.
Tell me after.
Yeah.
Patreon.
I think you're the
Save
one
it
who
for
told
our
me.
Patreon when we don't talk about it.
But it's like because now he's what 50 something. But yeah, he's not a terrible looking guy, but he's a gorgeous man when he was what like 19, 20 years old.
You know, it's so
in the
funny.
80s.
Like back, if I knew how handsome I was at 20, I would have cleaned up. But you don't like because now it's like, well, now I'm married. But like I'm just saying, it's like when you're younger, it's like you get this good body when you're younger and you don't know yourself, and then when you start to finally figure yourself out, you look like this fucking guy.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, this is the other video, and there's a Boston accent in here, so maybe we should do it with Joe.
Oh, yeah, please.
It's pretty funny.
January 1st, research how long before a body starts to smell. At 4:58 a.m., how to stop a body from decomposing. At 5:20 a.m., research how to embalm a body. At 5:47 a.m., 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. At 6:25 a.m. on the 1st, how long does someone be missing to inherit? At 6:34 a.m. on the
His whole
1st,
crime.
can you throw away
He Googled his whole
body
crime.
parts? At 9:29 a.m., what does formaldehyde do? At 9:34 a.m. on the 1st, how long does DNA last? At 9:59 a.m., can identification be made from partial remains?
This guy's
At
hilarious.
11:34 a.m., dismemberment and the best ways to dispose of a body.
At some point, does he interrupt her and is like, "Yeah, I did it."
Yeah, guilty.
At 11:56 on the 1st, room went off to detect blood. At 1:08, what happens when you put body parts in ammonia?
Ma'am, this is all circumstantial.
Like, the only way this could be more damning is if he was murdering while she read the charges off. Like, he was currently.
There's a video on his phone of the actual murder.
It is. If anything needs the Curb Your Enthusiasm music, though, it's definitely that.
Exactly. And this guy's face is just perfect. He looks like this is just the next day. He was up for 6 hours.
Listeners of the show, you're not going to get away with killing your wife.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Especially if you don't
It's never going to
realize
happen.
They'll get your Google history.
You're not the jackal. You're not, it's not the perfect crime. Everyone knows it's you. It's how every Dateline ends. Please don't kill your wife.
There's nowhere you can go where they won't videotape you. So they're going to get you putting something in your car and driving somewhere and then pinging your car on the cell phone.
They'll literally have every step of your crime if you kill your wife. So
just try to steal her money first.
Yeah.
That's an easier.
Or kill a homeless guy. You know, something that.
You ever watch the one where the guy's a giant, the guy's a monster, but he killed the daughters, he killed the daughters and the wife, and they have video from the cops chest cam in the house, and you can just see that, like, he's realizing that they know more than they know. Well, it's on Netflix.
I think I did watch that.
It's a good one. It's crazy, and the guy's a giant piece of shit. And
is this Chris Watts?
It might be Chris Watts.
Chris Watts.
Where what you see on his face, he's realizing he's like D'Elia when he realized you can't.
Yeah, Chris.
you can't delete
Chris
Snapchats.
Watts. It's
that famous clip.
They did a Hallmark movie about that guy too. And it's the movie, I watched it. It's hilarious because she pronounces she pronounces her name in a funny way that is not how it's pronounced. It's extra annoying. And whenever she says it, he's the only he literally rolls his eyes. You see the murder go. It's the whole movie is just her saying something passive aggressive and him going this fucking bitch. And then he kills her.
But he's a fucking absolute
Chris Watts.
monster.
Yeah, dude. Well, that one was crazy because it's that documentary. You're you watch the end of the documentary. You're like, I get the wife, man, but the kids.
Well, that's what I mean. It's always like that. It's like the other ones do the same shit, and then it's almost like they do it, and they're like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that." Did you want the Menendez one? We talked about it a little bit a while ago.
Yeah.
They afterwards, they're like, "I really regret doing that." Like the guy Eric was like, "I was really upset for a while after we did." I'm like, "What the fuck?
What do you think is going to happen?"
What do you think was going to happen? You
That's
maniacs?
the worst. The anger hangovers are the fucking worst. When you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I had it during. I've been drunk and then said something, and then the next day I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh yeah.
I do it all the
that's
time.
my whole life.
This episode's coming out the week after the election. You guys have any predictions?
Oh, this is the week after. So we're recording this before the election. Man, I think this is too close to tell. I don't know. But as we speak on this, I actually don't think
right now.
as we speak on this, here's my prediction. By the time this comes out, we still won't have a president elected.
No, I believe
That's
that.
my prediction.
I think you're right.
Really?
It's November 14th.
It's too close. Yeah, everybody's appointed their own judges. This is going to be a fucking nightmare. Dude.
It's going to be December.
If so.
If maybe. If not, it might take 6 months.
Yeah. I think it's
1,000% that's going to happen. Which already knowing that it's a fucking shit show. It's already a shit show, but already knowing that, it makes it that much worse. That's why I'm voting.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's
true.
what reason to vote. Because yesterday we were talking about it a couple episodes ago, and
what if I was my prediction? Jill Stein, run away.
H. Ross Perot.
I voted for Jill Stein in 2012.
Did you?
I get it. I think I did too.
Well, I felt like Obama was going to win. I thought,
and it's New York, so
I was just trying to we need more candidates, and if they got enough votes, we could make it a thing. And
which is actually a real thing. Like if she had enough of a showing,
right,
then maybe it would be taken more seriously.
Colin Quinn has that great joke.
Just the fucking Romney Obama debate versus all the debates we've had since then. Just how much the culture has changed.
It's gone to shit.
It's become like Richard Bay now. Every one of these fucking
everything's Jerry Springer.
Debates.
Everything Jerry Springer.
Well,
Joseph, thank you so much for doing this.
On that note, thank you.
On that depressing
Everything's
note,
going to shit.
We all went right down the fucking toilet.
well, you have a new documentary, Joe.
Yeah, Tom Dustin, Portrait of a Comedian. I don't know where it's. We're doing a screening in Boston. If you're listening from Massachusetts, it'll be in Somerville, January 9th, I think.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and yeah, check out my podcast, Tuesdays with Stories. And
I have a fun.
And then you have
Tom
the movie
Dustin
one with
story.
Ron on still?
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was relapsing. I was a nightmare this night. But Tom Dustin, it's like I did a show in Key West, and there's a really nice old guy, and he goes, "I'm gonna give this guy a shot. All right, hey, do 5 minutes." He goes, "Really?" And the guy gets like halfway through a premise, and Tom's like, "All right, we're done." He pulls him off. The guy's like, "What? I haven't finished my premise yet." Like, that's it. He's not ready.
So you knew what you were gonna do.
Tom's the best, and we made a really
so
good
funny.
film. I'm excited about it. People love it, and it's really funny and touching.
Guys, check out Burbs Bros on Instagram. Also, subscribe to the YouTube, and you can get it on any of the streaming platforms for audio. We have a Patreon as well. It's patreon.com/Burbs Bros. Is that
We
it?
should at this point, right, Pat?
Yes, I think by this point we will.
Yes.
And Danny, you are.
Dan St. Germain on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel. And my special dance, Fatty Dance, is on 80 per pound Girl Records, but I think it will be moving to Mark Norman's YouTube channel soon. And what date does this come out, Pat?
November 15th.
15th. All right. Well, I mean, we're going to be doing a live show at Soul Joel's in December. The other live date I have
December
is gonna be-
7th,
it's gonna be
yeah.
passed.
So to come to Soul Joe's, it'll be a mix of stand-up, and we're going to tape like a mini episode or something.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Pat. I am at Shawnee Time on Instagram. Follow me. Thank you again to Joe. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.